Last night went perfectly for the Calgary Flames and the NHL community. After a beautiful ceremony honoring the late Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, the Flames pulled off one of their best wins of the season and seemed to have fixed one of their biggest problems. With the Gaudreau family in attendance, the boys got it done for Johnny, and the night commemorated his life wondrously. Plus, Dustin Wolf is in the conversation for multiple awards right now, which is also perfect. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and let's talk about how they did it for Johnny. We knew going into the game last night that it was going to be an emotional one. The Flames obviously did just play Columbus in Columbus, but it was the first time that the Jackets were visiting Calgary since the very tragic passing of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. But the game, it started with a wonderful ceremony that we'll talk about a little bit more later on in this video. But as for the game itself, it went obviously very well for Calgary. They got the 3-0 win, which is just a perfect score really when it comes down to it. You know, the Flames have had a rough go lately, and last night they really rallied around, you know, this emotional night and got it done as a team. All facets were really going last night. And the big problem that the Flames have had, you know, over the past few years, really, ever since actually the Johnny Gaudreau era in Calgary did end, is that the power play just wasn't able to function at all, really, over the past few years. But this game especially, and over the past few games now, the Flames seem to have fixed that major problem of not being able to pot it with the man advantage, which really is perfect for the Flames. If you're the type of Flames fan that wants the Flames to try and make the playoffs this year and continue to win as much as possible, which I'm assuming most are. Now, if we get into the box score, Dan Vladar got the start, he got the win, and he got the shutout. Now, he did not face that many shots, just 16 total in this one. He went most of the second period, actually, without even facing a shot in that whole frame until the Flames actually got a penalty later on in the second period, but made all 16 saves he needed to. You know, in no way did he totally stand out, but hey, he got the job done, got the shutout, which is fantastic for him. Obviously, you know, brings that value up a little bit if the Flames are looking to trade him away. So again, something else that kind of went perfectly last night was Vladar's performance and, more importantly, his stat line. If we get into the Flames players who got on the score sheet, Rasmus Andersson, what probably will be the most emotional goal of his career. Obviously, a man very close to Gaudreau and the Gaudreau family. He started the scoring, a wonderful goal. You know, he kind of saluted the crowd in the way, and it was so awesome to see. Kevin Ball gets his first as a Flame. Great to see him with an opportunity on the power play. I thought the Flames would try that out sooner, but he gets a goal on the power play as well. Sharangovich gets a goal. Michael Backlund, the man who obviously played with Gaudreau the most in this current Flames team, he gets 2 assists on the night with Blake Coleman, Nazem Kadri, MacKenzie Weegar, and Jonathan Huberdeau. Pretty much all of our veterans there also getting on the score sheet. Overall, again, just really a perfect game. Couldn't have gone much better. Now, if we get into a little bit of an article here, I can't remember exactly who wrote it, and I wish I could give them the credit, but either way, I think it is written very well. I'll actually start with this one. So the Flames marked the loss of Gaudreau to both clubs and to his family by hosting his parents, Guy and Jane, sisters Kristen and Caitlin, wife Meredith, and children Noah and John, Johnny Jr., of course, at the Saddle Dome on Tuesday. Amazing move. We're so excited to see the family and them being here, but also sad, said Flames captain Michael Backlund. Such a tragedy. And that really marked it up to what it was. And that just honestly is how it is when it comes down to it. Players on both teams wore the name Gaudreau and his number 13 on their backs in warm-up. So nice to see again. They drew back from the blue line and looked up to a video montage of Gaudreau with his family also on the ice listening to the Saddle Dome chant, Johnny, Johnny. It was so emotional. I know many of you who were at the game were probably, you know, tearing up a little bit. I know some people at home must have been Kevin bawling their eyes out. I know I certainly was. So it was very emotional. Backlund and the Jackets forward Sean Monahan, both Gaudreau teammates during his time as a Flame, shared a heartfelt hug after a ceremonial face-off. And I'll actually just cut to that really quickly. It was heart-wrenching to see Monahan like that. Obviously, a man who played with Gaudreau the most in his NHL career, was supposed to reunite in Columbus this year. Best friends, their families are so close. If you have anything against Monahan, wow, I'd be shocked because, really just such a great man, and he must be going through so much right now, and it was such an amazing moment seeing them hug, seeing them do the face-off. You could see the emotion on his face, even as they're just taking the ceremonial photo for the face-off. So nothing but love for Monty, of course. Now, Monahan, a close friend of Gaudreau's, had signed with Columbus in the summer in anticipation of a reunion. I think a lot about him, Backlund said. For him to move to Columbus and be reunited with Johnny, they were so excited to get to play with each other. For Monty to have to go through that every day, it's heartbreaking, and it truly, truly is. Coaches and players on both teams predicted it would be an emotional night. After such a poignant pregame, it was a somewhat subdued start as players on both teams who knew Gaudreau wrestled with their grief. Dan Vladar was a Flames goaltender during Gaudreau's last season in Calgary. He stopped 16 shots for the shutout. Lots of emotions, Vladar said. At that point, you kind of really don't want to play hockey, but you remember Johnny, how he always wanted to play hockey with a smile on. This one's for him. Great quote from Dan the man there. After defenseman Kevin Ball's first goal as a Flame gave the hosts a 2-0 lead late in the third period, the Saddledome erupted in Johnny hockey chants. Gaudreau's father, Guy, was named first star of the game. Such a classy move there as well. He was flanked by Andersson and Backlund on the ice, and it was so nice to see. Not only did he get first star, but he had an amazing post-game interview with Rasmus Andersson and Michael Backlund. If you haven't seen that, definitely recommend watching that. Guy, obviously must be going through so much, such a crazy period of grief to lose both sons, but very glad that the Flames were able to do this for him and the family, and that, of course, the Gaudreau family has been a part of all of this. Overall, a perfect way to end a perfect night. Glad the Flames got the W, but more importantly, glad they were able to celebrate Johnny Gaudreau in the best way they could. Now let's move on to a Wowie Wolf is how I'm going to call this one, because he is off to a crazy start to the year, and he didn't even play in yesterday's game against Columbus, but still there are people all over the media and throughout the fan base and just the NHL community that are saying he is in the conversation for certain individual awards. So if we actually look at this here, this comes from the Scores, Sean O'Leary, and he does this quite frequently, but he did Vezina Trophy rankings. So Vezina Trophy rankings, he did the top 5. So welcome to the second edition of the Scores 2024-25 Vezina Trophy rankings, a monthly look at the top goalies across the NHL. None of the 5 positions are the same as they were last month, and 3 newcomers have entered the fold. You can guess who one of them might be. Choosing between goalies 5 through 2 was splitting hairs, but the number one option is clear as day at this point. Of course, Hellebuck absolutely carrying the Winnipeg Jets right now. So quickly, before you get into this, where do you think Wolf might end up in this top 5? Well, he's number 4, the 4th best goalie in the NHL so far. At least according to this man here. And I think a lot of consensus would have him in the top 5, if not definitely the top 10. So Fourth, Dustin Wolf. He's got that 8-4-1 record, a 2-5-9 goals against average, 918 save percentage. And obviously, as you can see there, the goals saved above expected is very good as well. So great stats. Imagine how much better they'd be if not for this most recent road trip. He could be even higher up in this top 5, but the Flames' early success this season surprised much of the hockey world, and Wolf is the primary reason Calgary's in the hunt for a playoff spot in what was supposed to be a rebuilding year. He's also in the Calder Trophy conversation. Yeah, absolutely. And his immediate success in the NHL is undoubtedly opening some eyes, and that is 100% true. Wolf ranks top 10 in all the criteria above except goals against average, where he slots in at 14th. Hey, maybe the Flames just give up lots of shots. Since our first edition of these rankings, the 23-year-old is 4-2-1 with a .926 clip and a shutout. If that's not enough to illustrate his impact on the Flames, Wolf's also logged 2 assists and a minor penalty during his current hot streak. Of course, that first career shutout is the one he mentioned there as well. Expecting a rookie to keep up such a torrid pace over the rigors of a full season is a huge ask. A first-year netminder hasn't won the Vezina since Eddie Belfour in 1991. That said, Wolf fully deserves his spot in the conversation through the first quarter of the campaign and looks poised to remain in the mix. And we really hope he does remain in that Vezina Trophy conversation. We obviously know he will be in the Calder Trophy conversation as well. So the Calder Trophy race is starting to look really exciting. Michkov, Wolf, and Celebrini are among the top names as we begin December. And I got to be honest, of course I want Wolf to win the Calder, but Celebrini looks like the real deal over there. But again, this is absolutely perfect for the Calgary Flames to see Dustin Wolf being recognized for this because he's playing so well. And if he can continue to play super well, who knows? Wins will probably come about. Now let's wrap this one up with the comment of the day, as we love to do. It comes from yesterday's video, of course, and it comes from KW. And KW says, I'm going to the game tonight. These lines should be interesting. Calgary needs this win for Johnny and for the division, but should be very exciting. Now, KW, I hope you enjoyed the game last night. They obviously did get that win for Johnny, which was so nice to see. Seemed like an amazing atmosphere, and it was exciting. The lines were a little bit interesting, but they seemed to work at certain points in the game for sure. The power play units definitely seem to be going, which is just fantastic. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.